Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We'll give people like a minute or two to join, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa. Wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. فلا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون تنزيل من رب العالمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. Welcome to the 12th episode of Daily Gems from the Quran, hosted by Masjid Umar bin Abdul Aziz. Alhamdulillah, this means that this is the 13th day of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your good deeds. May He accept your attendance of these sessions and all sessions in which Deen is talked about and taught and learned. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us all to continue this session until the end of Ramadan. And may He accept every single one of us. And may He accept every single minute and second that you spend in these sessions with sincerity, hoping to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Yesterday we discussed a phonetic kind of approach to understanding or aiding and helping to understand the meaning of Quran. The Quran is so beautiful that it's a cohesive whole. Every aspect that you look at it, it makes sense. And it's aiding in the meaning of the verse itself. So for example, if you examine it from the placement of the words, right? We saw this beautiful example of a palindrome, kullun fi falakin yasbahun, indicating like the orbit of the celestial bodies, subhanallah. If you look at it from in terms of their sounds, there is a beautiful layout in the Quran as well for that. So for example, we discussed the letters that flow easily from the mouth. Farra min lubbin, fa, ra, mim, noon, lam, and ba. If you just try to say that, farra min lubbin, it just flows off the tongue. As opposed to, letters that are in the other category, right? Everything that's not in farra min lubbin, those are, like, they have a very strong sound. Okay? And it has a sort of firmness and consistency in your mouth when you say them. Like if you were to say the huruf of qalqala, ajidu qattin bakat, they all have like a very firm sound in your mouth, right? Or khussa dagtin qid, these are very firm letters, as opposed to farra min lubbin. And then we also discussed that the harakat are also ranked in terms of their difficulty of pronunciation. the fatha being the easiest, you just have to open your mouth. Okay. In the kasra, you kind of have to break your mouth. E, 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 E. Okay. That's why it's called kasr, to break. Okay. And fatha means to open, literally, you know. And then dhamma, you have to bring your mouth together. You have to pucker kind of, ooh, do, who. Okay. And so it's harder. And then at the last level of difficulty is the sukoon. Okay, because it needs you to stop and to make the sound of the letter almost twice. Okay, and then we also discussed the fact that the muds are also very easy. Ooh, it's just air flowing through the mouth. Okay, and then when you look at the sounds that are present when you pronounce the words and the verses of Surah Al-Rahman, it's just very easy and smooth, soothing and smooth, as opposed to, let's say, in the beginning of Surah Muhammad, which talks about the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on certain occasions, and it also talks about war and waging war against the disbelievers. It has a very harsh sort of ending, abrupt ending, hum and kum at the end of every single verse almost, right? And it sort of indicates a sort of abruptness and a sort of anger in that, whereas Surah Al-Rahman has a and and beautiful ending that soothes the listener, and is talking about the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is very, very befitting. There's also easy on the ear. We're going to take that concept a little further now to the letter itself, which is, first we're going to discuss the fact that the ending of a sentence, and we kind of discussed this yesterday already, can be used to indicate a related emotion, evoke an emotion, or to indicate an emotion of the speaker himself. So for example, we discussed the kind of mud ending with a farra min lubbin letter is soothing, like Surah Al-Rahman. And then an abrupt ending indicates anger. Okay. A'malahum, a'malukum. And then today we're going to discuss the letter ha. Okay. Ha indicates fear, extreme, emergency. Okay, the letter ha. And why? The letter ha, if you look at the makharij of the letters, it's over here, right down at the extreme bottom of the places where you can articulate letters from. Aqsal halq is the Arabic way of saying this, right? The bottom, the furthest part of the throat, right? The furthest part of the throat, aqsal halq. Okay, so it's kind of very deep and dark and extreme, kind of mysterious sort of a letter, ha and hamza as well. Okay, which is right in this from the same point of articulation. So it's also used to indicate extreme actions, extreme fear, and a sort of emergency. The letter ha. Okay, we're going to see examples of this. Now, I wanted to talk about the fact that, you know, when you read a translation, right, people say that, oh, these are just attempts to quantify or to talk about the meanings of the Quran. Why do they say that? That sounds so disappointing for someone that's reading the translation. It's like, I don't know what I'm missing out on. I just don't get it, right? Like, you know, they're saying that I'm missing out on a lot of things by reading just the translation. What am I missing out on? So for example, you're missing out on these beautiful sounds that are also building up and adding to the meaning and emotion that's evoked in your mind when you hear it, right? Yes, of course, it's possible to read it without understanding the meaning and then you add the translation later. But if someone was to just read the English, they would not get these beautiful sounds as well. Okay, that kind of audible aspect of the Quran, the rhythm, the rhyme, the letters themselves. Okay, so the ha is used to indicate extreme actions and fear. And if you examine the apparatus that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us to produce sounds, means you've got the vocal cords, you've got the tongue, and then when it touches different parts of your mouth, the teeth, or if it extends up, and then your lips, all these different apparatus, they're not used at all with the ha. It's kind of from the bottom of your, like from your body, sort of emanates from the bottom. So it's a very deep, extreme letter. Okay, so example from the Quran. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يبصرونهم يود المجرم لو يفتدي من عذاب يومئذ ببنيه ببنيه. I'm kind of emphasizing the ha here just so we can hear it, right? Obviously, it's not good tajweed to kind of overemphasize the ha. ببنيه. Okay, they will be shown each other. The criminal will wish that he could be ransomed from punishment of that, from the punishment of that day by his children. Okay, I mean the two most important things, to an Arab at that time, and perhaps still today, are their children and their wealth. And they're willing to give up every single one of those things. Just take my children. I just want to get out of this jahim. I just want to get out of this burning torment. Just take whatever you want. Take my money. Take the whole world full of gold. Take my children. Take my wife. Take my father. Take my mother. And that's basically what these verses are building up. وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَأَخِيهِ وَفَصِيلَتِهِ الَّتِي تُؤْوِيهِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا ثُمَّ يُنْجِيهِ. With ha at the end of each one, indicating extremity of the situation, the desperation of the situation, the fear of the situation. Or another place, خُذُوهُ فَغُلُّوهُ ثُمَّ الْجَحِيمَ صَلُّوهُ. Seize him and shackle him, then into hellfire drive him. Extreme fear of that moment when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees this for a person. خُذُوهُ فَغُلُّوهُ. Seize him, shackle him, throw him into the hellfire. May Allah save all of us and protect all of us. But just that ha at the end is also driving that extreme fear and punishment, that idea of extreme of that situation. It's also used to indicate emergency. Okay, so for example, al-haqqah or al-qari'ah. These two verses is just a single word. Again, there are different opinions amongst the ulama as to why it's just a single word. Okay, and one opinion is that in a time of emergency, you don't try to say an entire sentence. Hey, I'm experiencing pain. Please help me. No, you don't say that. You say help, help. Right? You just call one word, right? Or the kid when he's crying, Mama, Baba, right? They just cry out one word. They don't say, please come help me. I'm over here. They just say help. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also saying, like, al-haqqa, be warned of, al-qari'ah. It's like an emergency. Okay, it's just one word and ending in a ha. Beautiful. And when you're lamenting someone, you're mourning over someone. In Arabic, for example, you want to call someone, the lowest level of this, Ya Zaid, Ya Zaid. Okay, if you want to call him urgently, you add a lam to it, Ya la Zaid. Okay, and when you want to lament for Zaid, Wa Zaid, oh Zaid, how I'm sorry about Zaid, or feeling sorry due to something that happened to Zaid. Okay, you want a stronger lamenting, Wa Zaidah. Okay, you say Wa Zaidah. And then the strongest one, the most extreme, the hyperbole, right? Oh, what a sad situation. Like if someone's, let's say, husband, Na'udzubillah, passes away, his name was Zaid. Wa Zaidah. Right? It's like at the end, it's just got the ha coming out. It's extreme sadness, extreme emergency. And you'll see people when they're feeling a lot of anguish and grief, the Arabs would say, Wa huzna, what grief. So these are, some of the ways that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indicates with the ha, that beautiful letter, the dark, deep, extreme letter, ha. So when you're reading these verses, right? For example, Surah Al-Haqqah, almost all of these endings are in ha. Try to remember that feeling that it evokes in a person as well as the meaning. Okay. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us all to understand the Quran. May He allow us to take full benefit of it. May He allow us to understand the meanings behind the letters and the sounds that they make, and to enjoy those sounds, right? Like these are sounds that are meant to be enjoyed. And when you're listening to it in Taraweeh and you're hearing, these verses being applied, being recited by the Qari in a beautiful manner with good tajweed, and it's just evoking these emotions in you. May Allah Ta'ala allow us to have that beautiful experience. Make a short dua and end. And inshallah, we're going to continue with some of these ideas tomorrow. Jazakallah khairan. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم إنا نسألك حبك وحب من يحبك والعمل الذي يبلغنا حبك. ربنا توفنا مسلمين والحقنا بالصالحين. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. ربنا تقبل صيامنا وقيامنا وقعودنا وجميع أوقاتنا. اللهم اجعلنا من الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا تقبل صيامنا وقيامنا. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك أستغيث أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين. Ya Allah, we've gathered here to learn about your blessed book, to learn about some aspects of your blessed book. Ya Allah, grant us understanding of these beautiful aspects of your book. Ya Allah, allow us to learn more, allow us to enjoy your book more, allow us the tawfiq to read it more and to memorize it and to recite it day and night, Ya Allah, and to inculcate its meanings into our life. Ya Allah, allow us to bring the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ into our life. Allow us to become beacons of light for the people around us. Ya Allah, rectify us, rectify every single moment of our life. Grant us strong iman and protect the iman of our children and our progeny till the day of judgment. Ya Allah, accept our fasting and our standing in Taraweeh and recitation of Quran and our sadaqat and our zakat and all our good deeds, Ya Allah, and overlook all of our minor and major faults, Ya Allah. Allahumma innaka afuwan tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Ya Allah, you love to forgive. Please forgive every single one of us of all of our minor and major sins. We make sincere tawbah to you and we ask that you grant us a death of iman. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم تب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. صلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاك الله خيرا.